Almost everyone is very bad at staying focused, but after this video covering deep work, you won't be one of those people anymore. This is assuming that you can actually stay focused in the video though, haha. So let's get into it. Chapter 1. The value of deep work. Let's start by understanding what deep work actually means and why it's essential. Deep work refers to a state of focused, distraction-free effort that allows you to push your cognitive abilities to their limits. It's about working deeply on meaningful tasks that create significant value. Newport contrasts this with shallow work, which is all those emails, meetings, and other tasks that keep us busy but rarely make a real impact. In today's world, shallow work is becoming the norm. Newport highlights this shift, saying, "The ability to perform deep work is becoming increasingly rare at exactly the same time it is becoming increasingly valuable in our economy." This means deep work is both scarce and highly sought after, a rare skill that can set you apart. To cultivate deep work, consider these action steps. Schedule blocks of uninterrupted time for focused work. Reduce shallow tasks that don't add much value, and train yourself to resist distractions. For example, imagine setting aside 2 hours in the morning solely to tackle your most challenging project without checking your email or phone. This practice isn't just about productivity, it's about making your work meaningful and your output exceptional. Please don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you. Chapter 2. The Deep Work Hypothesis. Moving to the second chapter, Newport builds on the idea of deep work by presenting the deep work hypothesis. Here, he argues that deep work is essential for achieving excellence and fulfillment in both professional and personal spheres. He suggests that structuring your life around deep work not only boosts productivity, but also leads to a more meaningful existence. Newport emphasizes that the capacity to focus intensely must be trained, saying, "The ability to concentrate intensely is a skill that must be trained." Think about this. Just as you wouldn't expect to run a marathon without training, you can't expect to master deep work without deliberate practice. Our culture's shift toward distractions, be it social media or workplace interruptions, has made this kind of intense focus an underappreciated treasure. To apply these ideas, you could create a personal mission statement around deep work. For instance, you might commit to spending 20 hours a week on activities that challenge your intellect and advance your career goals. Regularly review your habits to ensure they align with this commitment. Tools like meditation or single tasking can also help you strengthen your focus. Imagine the long-term impact if, every day, you took a small but consistent step toward mastering deep work. Rule number 1. Work deeply. The first rule of deep work emphasizes the importance of structuring your environment and routines to foster deep work. Cal Newport argues that simply relying on willpower isn't enough because willpower is a finite resource. It gets depleted the more you use it. Instead, he advises creating systems and rituals to make deep work more automatic. This approach minimizes the mental effort required to start and sustain focus. Newport reminds us, rituals minimize the amount of your limited willpower necessary to transition into and maintain a state of unbroken concentration. Think about it. How often do we struggle to focus because our workspace is cluttered or because distractions are just a click away? Designating a specific workspace for deep work can make a huge difference. Choose a quiet area, remove unnecessary items, and equip it with everything you need to dive into focused work. Developing a pre-work ritual can also help signal to your brain that it's time to concentrate. For example, you might start each deep work session by brewing a cup of coffee, organizing your desk, or journaling to clarify your goals. Setting boundaries is another critical piece. Use tools like Do Not Disturb mode or time-blocking calendars to guard your focus. Let colleagues or family members know your deep work schedule so they can respect your time. By making these adjustments, you create an environment where focus becomes a natural habit rather than a daily battle. Rule number 2. Embrace boredom. The second rule of deep work might surprise you. Embrace boredom. In today's world, we're conditioned to fill every idle moment with stimulation, often by grabbing our phones. Newport warns that this habit rewires your brain to crave constant input, weakening your ability to focus. He writes, Efforts to deepen your focus will struggle if you don't simultaneously wean your mind from a dependence on distraction. Boredom, while uncomfortable, can be a powerful tool. It creates space for your mind to wander, often leading to deeper creativity and problem solving. For example, Albert Einstein famously let his mind drift while walking, and many of his groundbreaking ideas emerged during those moments of stillness. To train yourself to embrace boredom, schedule daily periods where you unplug from digital devices. Use this time for analog activities like walking, reading, or simply sitting quietly. Practicing mindfulness or meditation can also help. Start small. Try a few minutes of focused breathing each day to build tolerance for mental stillness. Over time, this practice strengthens your ability to sustain deep concentration. Finally, replace your habitual distractions with more productive downtime activities. Carry a book or notebook to occupy your hands and mind during idle moments, rather than defaulting to scrolling through your phone. By resisting the impulse for constant stimulation, you regain control over your attention. This rule isn't just about tolerating boredom, it's about reclaiming your mental clarity and focus for the things that truly matter. Rule number 3, quit social media. Let's dive into rule number 3, quit social media. In this chapter, Carl Newport challenges the pervasive presence of social media in our lives. He argues that these platforms often provide only low-value rewards while demanding significant amounts of our attention and time. Think about it. How many hours do we lose scrolling through feeds that rarely, if ever, contribute meaningfully to our goals? Newport states plainly, the more you use social media in your personal life, the more it weakens your capacity for deep work. This rule is not a blanket rejection of all social media, but a call for intentional use. Newport advises assessing whether a platform truly aligns with your personal or professional priorities. He suggests asking, does this tool add measurable value to my life, or is it simply a source of distraction? Many of us use social media out of habit, but by intentionally quitting or limiting these platforms, we can reclaim time and focus for deeper, more fulfilling activities. To put this into action, Newport recommends starting with a 30-day social media detox. Log your usage beforehand and afterward to see how it affects your productivity and mood. If you decide to return, only reintegrate platforms that demonstrably add value to your life. You can also use tools like app blockers to limit usage or schedule specific times for intentional engagement. For instance, instead of checking Twitter every hour, set aside 15 minutes a day to catch up on relevant updates. By quitting or at least curating your social media use, you take a critical step toward focusing on what truly matters. Rule number 4, drain the shallows. Now let's explore rule number 4, drain the shallows. Newport defines shallow work as tasks that are logistical, non-cognitive, and easy to replicate, such as administrative duties or responding to emails. While these tasks may seem necessary, they often consume time that could be spent on more meaningful, high-value activities. Newport warns us, treat shallow work with suspicion because its damage is often underestimated. This chapter is all about maximizing your time and energy for deep work by ruthlessly prioritizing. Not all tasks are created equal, and Newport encourages us to question the importance of everything on our plates. For example, are you spending hours on email each day? Could those hours be better spent on activities that align with your larger goals? By minimizing shallow work, you can focus on efforts that truly move the needle. A great starting point is conducting a weekly time audit. Track your tasks and categorize them as either shallow or deep, then identify patterns of inefficiency. Next, implement time blocking to reserve hours exclusively for deep work. During these blocks, assign specific tasks to maintain focus and include buffer periods to transition between activities without burning out. Finally, delegate or automate repetitive or low-value tasks wherever possible. Tools like scheduling software or task delegation to team members can free up hours of your time. By draining the shallows, you reclaim precious resources for deep, meaningful work. The result isn't just increased productivity, it's a sense of purpose and fulfillment as you focus on what truly matters. Together, these rules help create a framework for reclaiming your attention and living a more intentional life. Please don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you. As we reach the conclusion of deep work, Carl Newport brings everything together by underscoring the transformative power of focus in a world overflowing with distractions. He begins with an example that highlights this point beautifully: the story of Bill Gates. During Microsoft's early days, Gates would isolate himself for extended periods to concentrate fully on his work, pushing forward the innovation and growth that would define the company. Newport uses this story to illustrate a core truth. Deep work is not an outdated concept. It's a critical skill in our modern economy, where creativity and the ability to tackle complex problems are in high demand. Newport makes an important distinction here. Deep work isn't about rejecting technology or distractions because they're inherently bad. It's about understanding their cost to your attention and productivity and choosing focus to achieve high-value outcomes. Whether you're an academic, an entrepreneur, or a creative professional, those who embrace deep work consistently outperform their peers. This isn't just about getting more done. It's about creating meaningful, high-impact results. As Newport concludes, he calls on readers to reject the culture of busyness and shallow engagement that dominates our lives. Instead, he invites us to pursue a lifestyle of intentional focus. By implementing the strategies he outlines throughout the book, anyone can cultivate a richer, more fulfilling life, professionally and personally. Of course, this requires effort and a willingness to let go of distractions that often feel comforting. But for those who commit to this shift, the rewards are immense: greater productivity, deeper creativity, and a profound sense of purpose. Newport's closing message is clear. Deep work isn't just a strategy, it's a path to thriving in today's chaotic world.